What up? What up? What up, everybody? We'll keep that looping. I like keeping the jazz music looping. I think it is good. Is good. How's everybody doing? Hector, good. Getting some video work done. Awesome. Good. Man, we are going to talk about some cool stuff today. Most of today is going to be talking about NAECAD. Recap of NAECAD. Verso knew I was going to talk about him. He sensed it in the universe. It was great seeing you too. It was good seeing everyone. I'm going to turn this down just a little bit more, so you guys can for sure hear my voice and hear less of the jazz music. Man, oh man. We had a good time. NAECAD was awesome. It'll be good to talk about. Hopefully we'll get a couple of folks in chat who are at NAECAD and they can offer some of their thoughts as well. To either reinforce my thoughts or to tell me I'm an idiot. Because that may be the case. As always. We'll give everyone a couple more minutes to get in here. Let me know if you're in the chat. If you haven't typed up yet, let us know. Start typing up your thoughts on NAECAD, ideas, etc. Maybe even suggestions for improvement. I know Katie up at Michigan Tech has a whole list of things that she wants to recommend. And I'm sure people have thoughts on that. But it'll be good. It'll be good to talk about. What up, Lesamos? Dude. We missed you, man. Wish you were there. We could have had an in-game clock tower game. We could have had a whole weekend of... Are you going to NACE conference? Can we do some clock tower at NACE conference? Because that would be dope. That would be sick. Just gonna hop over here, check my email one last time before I close out for the day. Nice. Love that feeling. You should probably get your life together for NACE conference. You got time, man. NACE conference is July. Last weekend has got me even more excited for NACE conference. I think that reminded me how cool it was to see everybody and get together with folks. And I feel like NAECAD it's a short conference. I mean, it's a 1.5 day event. So you don't really have a lot of time. Whereas like NACE's was 3 full days. You might actually make a NACE playoff this year. Dude, that'd be hype. Which game? And how far are you expecting to go? Rocket League. Oh, snap. Oh, like legit game. Okay. We had a tough conference down in the Southeast for Rocket League. And we didn't perform when we needed to. So it's been a rough season for our Rocket League team, but we've seen a lot of growth in the last couple weeks. Unfortunately, it might be a little too late. on that regard, but growth is good for us, and we're not graduating any seniors from the Rocket League perspective, so I'm excited about it. We've also got some awesome recruits that we've been talking to. So, yeah, Rocket League's a fun one. That's sweet. We'll finish conference third if all shakes out well, then hope to upset our way to national playoff. Dude, that'd be sweet. Good luck. That would be dope. That would be dope nasty. Your Rocket League recruiting is peppy this year. I'm assuming peppy is good. I think Rocket League recruiting is going to continue to get even better for most people as the high school scene continues to really support Rocket League. I think it's like the strongest game at the high school level, in my opinion, in terms of just raw numbers and also like skill development as well. And I think that's really exciting. Yeah. Rocket League players peak at 17. Right there, perfect time. I think, yeah, I don't know. Might be fair. That might be fair. Well, let's go ahead and get started, guys. It's another week of the Collegiate Esports Talk Show. I'm your host, Coach Antor, and we are talking NAECAD as well as ISEA and the announcement of that coming out. It's going to be a good week here. So excited to talk about it. That's my intro that I'll use for my vid. If you guys don't know, I do upload these to YouTube. I've been slacking on the clipping, like editing short form version of the full episodes, but I have been getting all the full episodes uploaded. So if you ever want to go back and revisit something that was talked about or hear it again or share it with someone, those are all on my YouTube. I think you can just search Coach Antor, although I don't have enough subscribers to have a custom URL, so if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. That would be dope. Yeah, sweet. So let's talk about NAECAD. So NAECAD is the National Association of Esports Coaches and Directors. They do a yearly clinic that is 1.5 days long in Des Moines, Iowa. Des Moines because it was started by Grandview University, which is in Des Moines, Iowa. And they've hosted every year. It was remote last year because of COVID, but every other year. This was the 5th annual one. I've gone to the last 4. The 1 week after I got my job at Aquinas, I was heading to NAECAD. And that was my first experience of meeting collegiate esports directors and learning what it meant to be a coach and a director. And that is that's where it started, and that's where it continues to be. Got to fly up to Des Moines this past weekend. I thought it was an awesome time. I had a great time there. I met with a lot of coaches and directors. There were a lot of people there, a lot of coaches and directors, which was super awesome. And then a lot of partners in the space, some organizations, a lot of high school presence there, a lot of the heads of state leagues. And we'll talk about that a little bit with the ISEA. But overall, I thought it was just a great event. It's just fun. It's fun getting together. It's been a while. It's been a long time. There's a lot of people that I got to meet this weekend that I had never met in real life. Chase Newcomb at St. Ambrose, never met him before until this weekend. He says I'm taller than he thought I was. I would say maybe he's taller than I thought he would be, although I don't know. I don't really think about people's heights that much, so but it was good meeting them all, socializing, grabbing a couple drinks after. Hawk says you are exactly the height I thought you were. Well, good. I think that's good. Yeah, I think that's good. But yeah, League Spot being one of the partners that was there. Chase is an electric human for sure. Chase has a lot of energy, and he definitely has that in person as well. What's up, Shimmy? But it was great seeing the league spot guys for sure. It was good seeing Matt Jackson from UGC again. I haven't seen him in a while. Noah, it looked like fun. Yeah, you should have came. What the heck? We should have probably talked about you coming there because I had a hotel room. And they ran out of king rooms, so I had a queen or two queen beds. One of them was just my eternal clothes storage, I guess. But yeah, no, it was a ton of fun. Yeah, it was just good. It was good. What's really exciting, I think, for me is that, like, my biggest gripe with NAECAD the last 4 years, well, I guess the last, like, 3, because the first time I went, it was good. The last 3 years has been, like, okay, all of the sessions are, like, Esports 101, or, like, how to run a practice, or how to run a super basic stream, or how to whatever, or what are the leagues in the space, how to run tryouts, I don't know, like all super basic stuff. And I was like, I think last year, maybe the year before, it was getting to the point where I was like, this is kind of boring, like we gotta get past this. As an industry, I hope we get past this. And I think this year a couple people delivered. I think in general, I think the topics really brought something. I think the topics in general, the way the topics were kind of decided was speakers were identified and then asked, like, what topic do you want to speak on? And then those speakers got to decide those topics, which I think what it brought out was a lot of more advanced topics, which I thought was really exciting. I did a keynote talk on marketing your esports program, which I thought it was good. I liked it. I think I'm pretty proud of how it turned out. Not necessarily sure if that topic was a great one for a keynote, but I didn't know I was doing a keynote when I decided the topic. So, but overall, like, I got to shout out a couple of the top sessions. So, like, Kurt Melcher usually always, like, at any good collegiate esports event is the keynote speaker to, like, kick off things or to end it. And he did a fantastic job as usual. He works for Intersport and does a lot of research on the esports industry and collegiate esports, so he knows a lot of the most up-to-date data. And he shared a good chunk of that, and it was really, really cool to see kind of the growth, specifically like how many programs there currently are and how that has grown since he started RMU back in 2016 or so. Overall, good keynote. I think it's a really good way to kick off the event. Got to shout out him. Always does a professional job. My next shout out has got to be Derek. Derek from Mount Union. Dude, did a topic on basically leveling up your stream. And it was so good. It was one of those topics where you, like, go in thinking, like, okay, what's he gonna tell me, like, how to turn on OBS? But it turned out to be like, here is a tool that we use that is dope and does some dope stuff. And then, like, this is what our setup looks like, and it's like a step above 90% of the programs out there. It was incorporating an observer into their setup, which, like I said, most programs don't have. And just the reassurance that it's not as complicated as one might think, I think was enough for me to be like, dude, this is awesome. So huge shout out on that one because it was good. And now this one I'm going to feel really bad on because I forgot his name and he might be even listening. But the guy who started the Minnesota Varsity High School League, if anyone knows who I'm talking about, shout it out. Jake. Jake. Yes, because I did not know he follows me, and I had no idea that it was this guy, Jake the Dad. Yeah, okay, that's why, you titties, because I don't know what the last name is. All right, he's on Twitter as Jake the Dad, and he did one on sponsorships and partnerships that was just awesome. Like, another awesome presentation. It was one of those that, like, I talked to other directors, and they're like, I'm not going to go to that one. I'm going to go to this one. And I decided to go to this partnership one, and I was, like, blown out of the water. It was so good. Got me excited about pursuing partnerships and sponsorships, and not necessarily, like, trying to get me to go after a big fish in the pond, but to, like, really establish some good relationships with companies, and some practical advice on how to get started. And those are the types of sessions that I just love. Like, if there's something where there's a session I go in and there's practical advice, there's like a step-by-step process, or like something that I can do immediately after leaving that session, and I feel fully confident in doing it, like, boom, instant top session. Huge fan. Jake did a great job on his topic, and I'm excited to kind of push some things forward. Back to Verso's topic on broadcasting. I literally on Monday got back into Florida, and I went to this room next to our arena and started measuring it out and starting mocking up a broadcast studio. So already have things moving on that end, and I'm really excited, and it kind of gave me the confidence to, like, go after it. Like, I asked for a mock-up from a local AV company like 2 months ago, and I've been waiting for it, nothing. And I felt like it was going to be this huge project, but I just decided this week to go after it. So we mocked some stuff up. I've realized that I have already basically everything I need, and it's going to look sick, and then we'll kind of just upgrade it as we go. So those are the types of presentations that I love. There's a lot of presentations oftentimes at these conferences that are like philosophical or more like feels on certain topics, or like explaining someone's point of view, and not necessarily about real, like, things you can implement. And and those presentations had that. The last session I'm going to throw out there because I thought it was a really good conversation. And this was more of the philosophical question and some conversation, was Nate Thompson's session on recruitment. And it was titled something like college recruitment from a high school's perspective or something. And it was really, honestly, a start of a conversation between the high schools and the colleges to think about how is recruitment done, what are the things that are wrong with it, and how can we change that? And what's really interesting is that Nate brought the high school perspective to the conversation that I think a lot of college directors lack. In my experience, I started a high school team, so I probably take for granted my knowledge of the high school space, and fail to realize that other coaches and directors don't have some of that basic knowledge and that same level of understanding. And Nate brought that to the table. And it was good. There was emotional, like, heartfelt moments of like, these are our kids. And there are instances where, like, coaches are talking with students and we don't know what's happening. And there's just a lot out there. Hey, what's up, Jake? I shouted out your session. It was awesome. I will send you. It was so awesome. I'm glad you could stop by. It was an awesome session and got me so excited about partnerships and stuff. And I shouted out your Twitter and all that good stuff. But your actual @Twitter is the same as your Twitch. So go follow that guy. That dude's going places, man. They're gonna make something special in Minnesota. They already are, and it's gonna get bigger. So, but yeah, Nate's session on recruitment, it was awesome. There's some really good conversation. I think there's good understanding on both sides. how we approach it going forward, what rules might be put in place, and how those are policed, if you will, I think are the questions that are still remain. But I think both sides, the high school side and some of the college side, got the ability to put in some words, and I think that's going to start a really good conversation going forward. And I'm interested to see kind of how it goes from here. Those would be kind of my like 4 sessions that I would shout out as like my top 4. There's a couple other good sessions, obviously, but those ones are the ones that stuck with me the most. The ones I had the most like, okay, I have something to do, and ready to go. I think Fiona's session on grant writing, I definitely will shout out. I think there's going to be good information that comes up from it, and I'm paying attention to when that Discord she's going to make pops up, because I think grant writing is a vastly undervalued opportunity both at the high school and college level, and I'm excited to see how that kind of grows out of this weekend. What other thoughts? Anyone else have thoughts who attended NAECAD? What your thoughts are on it? Top sessions that you guys want to shout out? I think for me, I'm really excited about the possibility of adding more regional NAECAD clinics. Like Jay alluded to, there's some talks about having one down in Florida next January when it's all cold up where you guys are, and hopefully have you guys down. That's right, we did. So yeah, that's right. Me and James O'Hagan, super vocal guy on the high school side from Wisconsin. He does a podcast, and both he and I did a crossover podcast on the first night, where we had some leaders from the high school space, the college, some college coaches, just talking. I thought that was really cool. It was a little grassroots, but then like started pushing towards a little bit more of a production, and like it kind of found a little bit of an awkward place in my opinion, but it was a good conversation, so I'm all about it. Shimmy says wasn't able to attend, so no feedback from here. Hey, maybe next time. Verso says I loved the collegiate roundtable right at the very end. Could have been 3 hours. Oh, absolutely, easily could have been 3 hours. I thought the topics that were discussed were really fascinating, and I think those topics would make great sessions going forward. I think one of them we talked about was international students. I think like no one is really talking about international students as much as I think we should be or could be. So I'm excited. Like that's one instance of one of those topics that kind of got discussed in the collegiate roundtable that could be an entire session next time, and I think it should be. Master Jake says, I learned a lot about the collegiate space from just speaking with all the coaches there. Loved meeting all the colleagues in the EDU superstars. I meet a lot of big names in esports, but honestly, I get way more fanboy over the people in EDU. That's awesome. Good. We didn't get a chance to talk, Jake, but like I said, huge admirer from afar from that presentation. And I'm really excited to see what you guys continue to build up in Minnesota. It's going to be awesome. And then in ISCA moving forward. Yeah, I want Fernando. I think that was his name to do a session. Yeah, is it Fernando? He's from the University of Health Sciences and Pharmacy, I believe, which is in St. Louis. I think he'd be a great one to do a session on international students. He seemed to know his stuff. That'd be really cool. For me, on your point, Jake, there about fanboying over EDU superstars, I think I've had the same reaction, I guess, at every esports event I've gone to, professional and EDU, is like you make pictures of people from their online personas and like what you know of them as an online person, and then you meet them in real life and it's usually like, oh, this guy's just normal. Like that goes for like someone with 500,000 followers that I've met from Twitter, met in real life, to all these EDU people. It's like, nah, this guy's just normal. And yeah, I don't know. It's also like, for me, it gives me it in the past. It's given me a lot of self-confidence because I'm like, oh, if this, I've met this guy. If this guy can do it, I can do it. I feel like I could do that. And I hope that can, like, I hope other people feel that same way. Because it's easy to make a vision in your head of like these people are all stars and like miracle workers or whatever. But in reality, they're just people. Lesmo says I'm a schmuck in real life, which lines up with my online persona too. Okay. Versus, he'll still think we needed Twitter profile pics on our badges. I second that. Second that wholeheartedly. Yeah. That's what I got on that one. But overall good. Like, I loved it. NAECAD was awesome. Had a scary tornado at the end there. Some weird moments throughout the weekend, kind of after, but yeah, it was overall a really good weekend. So already looking forward to the next one. Maybe some regional conferences. Definitely NACE convention in the summer at Kansas City. If you're a NACE member, or even if you're not a NACE member, consider going to the NACE convention. It's another one of those awesome opportunities to meet everyone. Thank you for the follow, Jake. I appreciate that. It's a really good, any of these types of conferences, conventions are awesome opportunities to meet folks that you've been talking to online or maybe haven't had the opportunity to meet. Has all the NACECon stuff been announced yet? I don't know. I just announced that it was in Kansas City and in July, so maybe I just ruined the surprise. But I thought they announced it. I thought they put a save the date out there. Let me look. Before I say it again. Save the date, July 20th to the 22nd at the Sheraton Kansas City Hotel. Yes. So it has been announced. July 20th to the 22nd. That's awesome. Yeah, it's been out. I don't think, and I think you could be a non-member and still go. I don't know what the if they do it admissions or not, or admissions cost or something for non-members, but it usually isn't very much, if anything. Highly recommend if you're in collegiate space for sure. It's probably worth just going, like even if you're not a NACE member, because we just have fun. We socialize, we get to know each other, and yeah, it's good. It's a good weekend of conversation, or a good week of conversation. But that concludes the little talk on NAECAD. I so appreciate everyone who ended up going, because it wouldn't have been the same if somebody didn't make it. So everyone made that weekend awesome, and it was awesome. It was just awesome. I don't know they'd let me in after all I've said. Dude, I don't even know what you've said. So many people have said bad things about NACE, man. I think I respect the people who've said bad things about NACE. It would only make me respect you more if you showed up to the NACE convention. Similar to like how Charlie from HSCL showed up to NAECAD this weekend. It's like, you're keeping the door open. And yeah, I'd let you in. I'd sneak you in the back door. Don't worry. We'll talk sometime. All right. Yeah. But yeah, overall good stuff at NAECAD. Let's talk about. I'll say what. Thank you. Interesting. You can still participate in a system and be critical of it at the same time. I agree with you. Absolutely. 100%. It's mostly just leftover stuff from the governing body area. Oh, that was a while ago. Dude, NACE isn't even the same as it was 2-3 years ago. I mean, totally totally different. Because I remember the first NACE convention, like NACE caused the play versus crap. What? I wonder how many dumb messages could this guy give before I ban him. I don't know who you are. That's an interesting take. Yeah, let's talk about ISEA. ISEA, the Interscholastic Esports Alliance. ASMR stream when? I don't know, man. If you dream it, you do you. TLDR, I think there are a lot of reasons why coach directors' pay is stagnated and recruiting expectations are inflated, but I won't derail. That's fair. For the Alliance. All right, let's talk about the Interstate Scholastic Esports Alliance. Let's go. How do I want to do this? Let's see here. Yeah, let's just switch this over. Let's just switch it over. Switching this transition. There we go. All right. This is their website. If you guys want to learn more, I believe you can just look up isea.gg. I just wanted to redo that for you guys to see. Long story short, this is a group of a lot of the state nonprofit high school leagues, as well as Minnesota. I'm putting Minnesota in a different basket on that because they're technically not a nonprofit. But those groups came together and they formed a national group called the ISEA. Right now, it's 14 states. That is correct. Right now, listed is only 9 here, and then they have like 10 logos here. I know Michigan is also involved in this, I believe, so they're not in there. This website, I think, was kind of thrown together so they just had something. But nationwide coalition of educator-run scholastic esports organizations serving students in schools in the K-12 space. Their big thing is basically we're going to do whatever is best for the kids. Like, that's their thing. It's like what is best for the kids. It's clearly the opposition to what PlayVS is doing. PlayVS currently sending some threats of cease and desist letters, saying that they're the exclusive provider of high school to high school competition in a variety of game titles. And the nonprofit or the state leagues decided or realized finally that they needed to come together and to start doing something. And that's what this is. This is their announcement. They announced it this past weekend at NAECAD. It was announced by Danielle, who is the president of the Texas Scholastic Esports Federation, or TexEF. She is also, was announced that she is the president of this group, Danielle Johnson, who I had never met until this weekend, and she seems super nice. But she'll be the president. What's really interesting about this group is I think a lot of people, including people in those high school leagues, realized they needed to come together, but they really struggled with that, and it took a long time because there's a lot of differing opinions. There's a lot of folks who don't want to give up the power that they currently have. So coming together as a group took time. It took a lot of time, but finally they have finally, I think the letters from PlayVS most recently really kind of kicked them in the butt, and they're like, all right, we really need to get something together. So the two big initiatives that they're focused on are recruitment for colleges, or the college recruitment process, And then the other one is licensing with developers. And that's the big one. That's their main focus. And what's really interesting to hear Danielle say in her presentation is that their hope, or what they're doing, is they're taking the community guidelines that some of these developers have, and they're building off of them and creating a scholastic category. And in some of those conversations, they're trying to be the ones that would own said category, and they would approve those licenses on a case-by-case basis. And what they're doing is they're taking the work out of the developers' hands and doing it for free to be able to license competition to groups that are doing things what's best for kids in the scholastic space. And when they use the term scholastic, they're using K through 12. So this would not include colleges. I asked one of my first questions after the presentation was, has any developer signed on to this, and what's the feedback been? Because that's my biggest skepticism is like, what developer is going to give you the reins on this one? Their answer was yes. There are some positive feedback. No, they will not tell me who. I'm like, okay, all right. College recruitment, nothing going to change. Kaboomed. That's not necessarily true. I think what this group will hold is some power in terms of which coaches have access to which discords, and also will set a framework for coaches to work around when it comes to like calendars and contact things. I don't think recruitment will change for the top 10 to 15 programs. If you're giving full rides, if you're a nationally competitive program, your recruitment probably will not change because you're not using these state orgs to recruit talent. So like a scholastic esports union of sorts. Yes, but only for the K-12 space. So when I use scholastic, I include college. When they use scholastic, it seems like they do not include college. They're talking K-12. And that's an important distinction. Because collegiate is a whole different thing. Lesimo says, I've talked to Garden State directors a lot so far, and there's a lot of opinions. Yes, there's a lot of opinions in the high school space. Noah, I would be wondering about inter-league competition among members. By inter-league, I really mean interstate national competition for the top teams. My guess is that they will do something that's fun, more geared towards like a fun thing within, like on a national level. But for right now, I don't know what they're planning on nationally because some of the states have very different rules. And bringing those teams together into a national competition is going to be a little difficult, I think, in some instances because of those rules. Man, kaboomed. You are so negative, bro. Or sis. Like, come on. You might be right. The titles they are getting are probably dead titles like Smite, is what they said. It could be. It very well could be. Could be Smite, could be High Res, it could be Epic. I think in my best judgment and best guess is they're probably talking with Epic. And Epic is talking about this Scholastic license. It might even just be Fortnite. I'm not sure. But I think Epic has been one of the most open developers when it comes to these types of conversations. Another one could be High Res. It could be High Res. I think that's a kind of a long shot. High Res would probably be willing to have those talks, but if you're the high school scene, you're not stoked about High Res if that's the case. Just because High Res's game titles just don't pull the same amount of players as other titles. Mystic Ward says National Championship sounds fun. Yes, it does. I think that would be cool eventually. I think we might see something about that at some point. But like I said, it's going to be difficult to bring that competition together. They're all operating on their own rules, their own schedules, and coming together and deciding deciding on a common rule set, I think is going to be very difficult for this group of individuals. Just working on the board of the Michigan League, and then now working with the Florida League to get started there, and just knowing the landscape and who is in charge of some of these leagues. It's like they got some strong opinions, and the willingness to kind of be nimble and allow certain things or change their opinions, I think, is really difficult. So they've got a lot of struggles and challenges ahead of them. I'm going to switch back here to this because I want to see chat come back up on screen. But if you want to follow along on the website, I'm just walking through this a little bit. Missing Ward says high school champion versus collegiate champion in a show match tied to a recruitment fair. Possibilities are endless. That'd be fun. Lesimo says, are we going to have collegiate Splatoon teams? Dude, I don't know, man. I don't know. My guess, I'm always going to go back to where whatever the high schools are playing, there's probably going to be a collegiate scene for it. Because so many of the programs on the collegiate side are recruitment focused and recruitment driven that if there's a whole state playing Splatoon or Knockout City, there's going to be colleges who pick up those titles to pick up those students. That's just how the business of collegiate esports is functioning right now and what its goals are. Will Maryville or Bay State or whoever, Harrisburg, pick up those titles? Probably not. But if there's recruitment for it, I would assume that there's going to be teams for it. At least in those local states. Shimmy says, as long as there's a tournament platform for it. Yeah, to an extent. I think the bigger one is like if you have students. If there's high school students playing that game and they're ready to come to college on a scholarship for that game, you bet your butt there's going to be colleges with it. I don't even know what Knockout City is. Yes, you do. Knockout City was the dodgeball game that came out like a couple months ago. It got really big for 1 week and then it died. But I know Knockout City is a title that keeps kind of popping up in the recently. Keeps popping up recently among like high school leagues because it's a super approachable title, and it's a competitive title. Like there's a competitive side to it. I feel the same way about Cardstone. Hawks and stuff says it was super big during the free weekend. Yeah, it was. Did they just do? Isn't it free to play now? Did they just send it for free play? I think they just sent it to free to play. I could be wrong on that. I'm actually going to look that up right now. Going to free to play. Okay. Going free to play this spring following the conclusion of Season 5, which is scheduled to begin on March 1 and slated to last for 9 weeks. So, like 3 months after March 1st. March, April, May. So, like June 1st. So, sometime this summer, it's going to go free to play. I don't know if that'll make much of a difference on a player level. But at a scholastic level, it'll open up the doors to high school leagues looking at it as a viable title, especially if it's free to play. I mean, the barriers are pretty low to get into that. And like I said, if there's a high school scene, there will be a college scene. That's just like up until now, it's been like college scene. If there's a college scene, then the high school scene looks at it and tries to get into it. And the last 2 to 3 years has been a shift the opposite direction of high schools. Like, just because there's a college scene doesn't mean we need to do it. Like, look at League of Legends. Like, there was conversation of like, do we really need to host League of Legends, even if it's at the college level? And that shift it's switching, and it's soon going to be determined, I think, from the high school level. There will be titles that go back and forth. I think there's going to be instances where if we look at like Learfield, if they continue to heavily support Madden, the Madden scene at the college level might get big, and then that in turn might create a bigger scene for the high school side for Madden. But that's just kind of what I'm seeing. Yeah. What up, Pog Chew? Hey, Chew. Fun fact. Now that you remind me a little bit, there is another. Oh no, am I not? Am I not subbed to them anymore? Oh yeah, I am. Yes, I have an emote on my channel, but even cooler, I have an emote of myself on Boise State's channel. So if you're subscribed to Boise State Esports, you get another emote of Coach Antor's face. Haskell added it at some point for some reason, and it's still there. I don't know why, but I continue to subscribe. But yeah, I think it's this. Haskell loves you. Yeah, I know he does. I am very lucky. But ISEA, really interesting announcement. Long overdue in my opinion. Hopefully this gets at least this group a seat at the table, or not even a seat at the table, just like an open conversation with developers. Like just to have the conversation and to be seen as a legitimate contender in providing competition in some game titles. That'd be a huge win. And I think that's really the goal from my perspective. What I would love to see is opening up opportunities for students to play some of the game titles that we've been wanting, that they want to play, that we as college coaches want them to be playing. But beyond those two things, talking about collegiate recruiting and developer licensing, like there's nothing else on their agenda at this point. Like their communication was like, we have enough. Like that's enough to worry about. Yeah, so who else is not listed on here? Minnesota's not listed on this website, but I know Minnesota's involved. Michigan's involved. And I don't know what the other two are off the top of my head. I see Ohio. But there's 14 currently. There will probably be more by launch. My guess is they said like 17. It depends who they talk to. Like some of the ones like that I'm thinking of right now, like Florida is still forming theirs, and I'm helping in that process. Michigan, there's one called the Southwest Michigan Esports League that is independent from MySEF that could be looped into that. I don't even know if I don't know who else is missing. MOSEF I don't think is in here, so Missouri's league I don't see on this list. They will probably be added is my assumption. Yeah. I don't know if there's a Pennsylvania one yet at this point, but I'm assuming we'll see a couple more members be added to this group here. But it's a pretty big announcement. It's an announcement you guys as college coaches should definitely know about. If you're a high school coach and don't know about it, you should definitely know about it, because it could be a huge opportunity for the high school space to grow the number of kids playing. So yeah. Anybody have any questions on ISEA? I'm not the expert by any means. I'm not involved in those conversations. There should be like 48 to 50 eventually. Yeah, there should be 48 to 50 groups in the U.S. High School League Association at some point. Funny. Good one, Noah. We all can't be the smart Antor. All right. Some of us just have the looks. Any other questions you guys got on this one? Yeah, just be patient. We weren't even ready for a soft launch at NAECAD. Yeah, nah, it's all good. I'm excited. I'm excited to be cheering from the sidelines. It's gonna be good. Working frantically on lots of things. Good. You have a lot to do. Again, ISEA is the Interscholastic Esports Alliance. It is a group of a couple high school state leagues that came together to form a group. Good question. What's your go-to order at Taco Bell? I don't have a go-to order because I change it depending on how hungry I am. And also if Carly's in the car. If Carly's in the car, I have to have some decency. All right. We ain't ordering half the menu if Carly's sitting next to me. But if I'm solo, late night, hitting up that Taco Bell, oof, I'm probably going, all right, so here, you probably start with the chicken quesadilla meal with the Baja Blast, but then you start going to that cravings menu. Actually, let me change that. Usually it's the $5 cravings box, and then you go into like that cravings menu or the dollar menu, start looking at some stuff. Spicy potato taco, that's a good one. I do like a good crunch wrap. I do like a good chicken quesadilla. Yeah, those are kind of my go-tos. Yeah, I love a chalupa. I love the quesaritos were pretty good. But the cravings box, dude, cravings box. How do they make a profit on cravings box for $5? I don't know, man. It's the greatest. It's probably the greatest secret to man. Two McChickens and a Coke. Wrong place. But yeah. Add 2 McDoubles on that one. That's my McDonald's go-to. I don't order Taco Bell for a specific reason. I said in my session. That's all I will say about that. That's fair. Late night Taco Bell is a no-go for me unless I don't plan on going in the office the next day. What up, physics, Sergio? That's good. I mean, I've never let food stop me. All right, we're just sometimes, all the time, it's worth it. All right. It's so bad. I don't know why Taco Bell does it to me. I love seeing state high school org viewership being so high, though. For sure, man. I actually haven't been watching much of the high school stuff, so you probably know more than I do on that side. But yeah, Taco Bell is next level. Next level. Big fan of Taco Bell. We do have a Checkers by me that I haven't unlocked the secret of Checkers yet. Like, I know it's good. Their breakfast menu is goated at Taco Bell. I haven't had Taco Bell breakfast since college. It first came out when I was in college, dude, and I would slam those breakfast, what are they, breakfast crunch wraps? Is it a breakfast crunch wrap? Dude, I don't even, oh my gosh, slam those things, man. So good. Checkers is very solid. Yeah, I know. Their fries are solid. I think the thing that turned me off to Checkers a couple years back when I worked next to one is that, like, I used to get a chocolate shake and it's literally soft serve ice cream, and they might whip it a little bit extra, and like it just tasted like a soft serve ice cream instead of like a shake. Yeah. My girlfriend lives next to a Chick-fil-A, and I'm going to drown in the sauce. Dude, I have a bottle of Chick-fil-A sauce in my fridge from a grocery store. They sell that stuff. Need more production interest at high school level. Not sure how to tackle that. You mean like for student workers or students wanting to broadcast? You expected Chick-fil-A mac and cheese to be trash, but yeah, dude, my wife loves the Chick-fil-A mac and cheese. That's like her thing. She doesn't get the fries, she gets the mac and cheese. And she loves it. UGC is poggers. Dang, you are all over. You are all over the place, man. But Noah, I mean, I have the same problem at the college level, like finding people who want to do as production companies. Who want to do broadcasts and stuff. And sometimes it's just like, I have a kid who wasn't good enough to make the team, and I'm just like, hey, you're going to cast instead. Or you have a sub, today you're casting. Or you just see a kid casually playing and you're like, all right, come on and cast. From like a actual production standpoint, that takes a little bit more time. I think what I'm going to hopefully try to do is find additional casters and then within my pool of casters, identify somebody who wants to do the production stuff and teach them that way. But it's not as easy as they think. A lot of people make it seem like. This is what my mind does. I want to say too much. I like it. You're all over the place. You're like over there, Taco Bell, UGC, high school production. Yeah. I like it. That's fair. Might do that. Yeah, dude. I lean on subs and people who try out who aren't good enough to make it to be my casters. That's what's worked the last 3 years, and I'm going to keep doing that. As for finding students who are interested in doing the production side, that I'm still trying to figure out. So, where's my points command to timeout Chew? Dude, that would be so good. Oh, is that a thing? Can you use channel points to time someone out? Dude, oh my gosh. I'm going to make that happen. That's dope. Ban Greggy works at Riot. Antor's casters watching and realizing he called them not good enough. Dude, it's true. All right. Go look up Powder. Powder from Aquinas. The dude tried out as a silver. All right. Made him cast. Now he gets paid to cast now. And then he got good enough to be on the team too. So, you know, it's not a dig. It's just, you're not ready yet. You're not ready yet. Try something else and I will ensure your success. League of Legends is a bad game. Some days. Depends. Depends how good my ADC is. Physics says finding production students without a good amount of production-based academic programs should be an Olympic sport. Seriously. We didn't have production at Aquinas. And where are they? We have a communication and some type of production major here. And I have to figure out how to find those students and find if there are any of them interested in esports. That is a project I have, of which I'm failing, but we'll get there. Noah says, I'm learning Valorant in case OW Blizzard explodes, but the OW scene is still big at the high school and college level. Yeah, it is. What's interesting is like almost every coach I talk to at the college level is struggling to find Overwatch players. So... yeah, I don't know. It's big, but is it big? I don't know. It's hard. That's a good avenue. You can usually even convert a lot of those students that just want to learn a new skill. Yes, absolutely. Half the battle. All I want is a kid who wants to learn and participate. I can teach you how to press transition on OBS. I can teach you how to test a mic. Like, I can teach you all that. I just need you to sit down and do it, you know? Be willing to sit down and do it. The OW model is unsustainable. Dude, if OW2 doesn't do anything, like, it's going to be an ugly death of Overwatch at the collegiate level. And it kind of already starting to be. Like, there's just going to be a lot of students who, like, have scholarships but don't have a team to play on at their school. And a lot of like, all right, you play Valorant. Can you also play Overwatch on Tuesdays? So we have a team. Like, that's just going to be a norm, I think. And it's already happening. Greg announced Valorant Collegiate and killed Blizzard. Way to go, Greg. I'm so excited for Collegiate Valorant in the fall. Me too. I think it's cool. I'm interested to see how many more teams or how many teams kind of come out of the woodwork to participate in that. I think Riot supporting Valorant at the collegiate level is going to be a huge game changer. Partner conferences. Yeah. The continuing push towards partner conferences for me is really exciting. Now, other people beg to differ. Am I kind of quiet? No, I hope not. It's just your sound. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Partner conferences for sure. Really exciting. I think that's really exciting. It's going to foster a lot of in-person competition, I think, more so in the future. It's going to foster more more like storylines, better marketing, and hopefully in turn better production, better spectator experiences. Hopefully, I mean, all of it kind of snowballs, hopefully, towards an increase of support for collegiate esports on a campus level. Another game Clerky is going to recruit a tier team 2 on. We'll see. Has Clerky announced anything? Are they actually going to do something with Valorant? I would assume they would, but honestly, Clerky will probably wait at least a year more, is my guess. That's just how he does, right? I don't know. The majority of high school Overwatch players are silver platinum, so maybe there's an over expectation of high school talent. That might be true. Maryville's the hard stuck amateur graveyard fight me. I mean, they're one of the only collegiate teams that's actually sent a player to the top of the pro seed in League of Legends, so I don't know about that one. Another bad take by Kaboomed. That's 2 strikes. One more will kick him out. All right. Just recruit all of the Pioneer squad. They're Orgless. Okay. I don't know. Which school is Clerky at? Maryville. Yeah, Maryville. Question for me. From your perspective, the high school organizing is cool because we know they are great, but from a dead perspective, where are we going with this, Kaboomed? What teeth do they have? That is the true question. That is the true question. Whose burner is this? I don't know. It's probably Delane's. They don't have a lot of teeth. Like, you want my true thoughts on it? They don't have a lot of teeth. They have more teeth now. When I talk to developers, what they want to find is they want a nationwide solution or provider that's going to listen to them and do what they say. And so at the end of the day, the developers want to ensure a quality product in their tournaments, and they want that to be consistent across the entire country. At this point in time, the only option they have is Play Versus or HSEL. I think from a sustainability perspective, when we talk about like funding and money, Play Versus is more sustainable. I think from a overall governance standpoint and listening to Riot and being able to take feedback and change things, I think Play Versus is the best option for some of or is seen as the better option in that equation. When we look at this ISEA, we're only talking about 14 states, which technically is not the entire country. Is it enough to at least try some things out and see how it goes? Maybe. Did you see the CC player in game chat screenshot? I did. And I didn't know which one is their player because I don't follow a lot of those things, but that was not good. Kaboom says so weird. It is. I think from a developer's perspective, I think we have to realize that yes, this is good that they're coming together, but is it big enough for them to earn the League of Legends licensing? Probably not. But is it big enough to earn some licensing from some of the other developers? It might be. I think there's a handful of developers that are willing to listen, and I think that's exciting. It's like they're doing what Play Versus was doing. Why did they not like Play Versus? I think the question becomes exclusivity. And that's what it is. It's exclusivity. The Play Versus experience, I know we harp on this like every week, I swear. It's not good. It costs money for a lackluster platform and a lackluster experience. Their forfeit rates are through the roof. It's just not a good experience. And the fact that Riot still plays with them with Play Versus and uses Play Versus, I think is a question of there's no other option, or there's not a better option for them in their eyes. So Riot supports Play Versus to be the number one and only Riot provider, and high school teams rage it because of forfeit rates. Forfeit rates is a part of the overall experience. It's the cost, it's the overall experience, and it's the fact that they're the only ones fighting for exclusivity. HSCL is operating the space. They're charging schools. They have a subpar experience, or people have had subpar experiences, but they're not fighting for exclusivity. So there's still options for those state orgs to find other competition. When Play Versus enters this space, they make it so there's no other option. NAECAD's forfeit rate is like 40%. No, it's not. It is not 40%. We looked at these numbers and we presented them to all NAECAD members. It is nowhere near that. So yeah, that's ridiculous to even assume that. If it was 40%, no one would be in it. It's not. In LOL it is. I don't think so. Should we look at? I wonder if I have that still up. I don't know if I still have this. You played 2 games this year? That's weird. I had we didn't have any forfeits for us in NACE for LOL. I'm trying to find who was a part of this conversation. I can't find it anymore, but it was sent out. Oh, forfeit numbers. It looks like there were about 130 forfeits across all of the game titles. I don't know why there's not a total number of forfeits, but 130 over like 10 game titles. I mean, it's like nothing. Now, when we talk about forfeits, we talk about forfeit no-shows. So if they communicated that they're forfeiting, that doesn't count in these numbers. There is a 3% forfeit rate across all varsity division play. So literally, the forfeit rate for varsity competition in NACE is 3.74%. Yeah, I don't know what the forfeit rate is. I mean, I think you're on a burner account trying to start something when there's nothing to be started. So, Chew talking about CC. I don't know how you literally have everything given to you and so many resources and then fall from top so hard. Man, I don't know what's going on over at CC. I wish I had full rides. What do I think about teams not rescheduling? I mean, it's up to the teams. That's what the rules are. I try my best to be a civil and logical person and try to be as accommodating as possible, but I guess it's in their rights to decide. Housing, food, and can import. Holy cow. The best scholarships in collegiate players are still saying no. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Man, I wish I had. Dude, if I had those types of resources, man. Woo! Woo, buddy! I've only been at institutions where the average scholarship is like $4,000 to $5,000 a year. Steal his job, Adam. This is what... You know, I've got to think that this is not just a problem that just appeared this year. My guess is this has been it's probably something that's been festering, is my guess. They've also never had really like an involved director until this year. So who knows what the culture was like before? Like, I have no idea. I already have to deal with the Gokuing of Mo right next door. Please stay away. Man. I don't think you have to worry at this point, physics. Well, physics, you're not even... Dude, you're leaving. So why do you care? But everyone is safe for at least like 2 years, I think. According to my wife, I'm not allowed to move. So, yeah. And I freaking love it where I'm at. Y'all need to come down to Florida. That's really what needs to happen. Who does all the rankings of CLOL? Who does the top 16 thing? Is Colomer one of them? No, it's Blinn. It's Blinn. Scholarships are still primary driving. Yeah, it is. It is absolutely primary driving. Kaboom says, look at the top 15 LOL programs. Most don't give shit. That is a lie. Maryville, St. Thomas, Winthrop, Harrisburg, Illinois State, Bay State, St. Louis, Grandview, Bethany. Those all give scholarships. So you're talking about more than, what is this? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 of the 16 give scholarships. That's lower than I would have imagined. But we'll see what the final standings are. I think there's a couple teams in here that might, for some reason, be a little higher ranked than I would have guessed. But there are some teams that should be on here that aren't. Like, well, given the resources they have, should be on here, but they aren't because they don't deserve it. UCI is going to win CLOL. Watch. Really? Is it? Don't they have like just like one like really good player? Do they have like a pro player? I was on the selection committee last year. I'm not going to be on it this year. I will not be applying for it. First of all, I don't know enough, but second of all, my team is probably going to be either make playoffs or be an option for the selection committee to let in. I don't think we would, but I'm excited to see the ISU RL roster. That'd be dope. ISU's changing the game. Changing the game. All right. Well, that's going to conclude our stream today. We've talked enough. It's been real. I'm going to peace out. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by. Again, it was awesome. NAECAD was sweet this weekend. I know, Greg. I'm sorry. You always come in late and then are sad that we're ending. Okay, fine. I'll allow you to ask your question if you truly have one while I answer this Discord DM. It's 2 p.m. I live in LA. Well, maybe you shouldn't live in LA. What are your thoughts of organized competitive events with collegiate esports directors only, and have you done nay or enjoy them? You mean like college esports directors playing against each other? We did a charity one for Halo a couple months back. We did a NAECAD group of them last summer or something. The NAECAD one was fun. The Halo one was terrible. It was fun. It was fun, but my captain trolled and picked me first, so we got rocked because I'm not good. Huge troll picking me first. So our team was under talented, but it was a ton of fun. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. I don't think it pulled a lot of viewers, and I don't think it like pulled a lot. I don't know. I don't think it pulled a lot of eyes, but it was fun. I enjoyed it. I would play in all of those tournaments. They are fun, and they're cool to get to know other directors too. Even if I'm really bad. Cool. Yeah, Greg, make something happen. We're waiting. All right. Going to play League. Enjoy. All right. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by. I appreciate you guys. Streamlabs just broke on my chat. Now I have to re-chat from my plugin. Thank you guys, everybody, for stopping by. I appreciate all of you. You guys are awesome. Good luck this week. If you have competition, if you're on spring break, play some League or enjoy yourself. Can't pick both. And then, yeah. If you're not on spring break, you got competition this week, good luck. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.